heard of
okay,
that.
Yeah. I've dabbled in that, I think.
All right, we're not that old, folks. We're not that old. Paul Lee, lane number 1. Rod Capps, number 2. Lane 2. Jack Beckman in lane number 3. And Austin Prock, your reigning world champion, over there in lane number 4. I'm so curious to watch Austin and Jimmy Prock this weekend. Thomas welcoming young Mila into the world. Thomas is back with the team. But I always like to see how they bounce back from a tough race.
Yeah, you know, and I think Austin Prock is going to bounce back, and he's going to bounce back well. I mean, I think the last time we saw him kind of hiccup was the 2-step in the Mission Foods Too Fast Too Tasty Challenge. He came back. They performed well after that, I would say. So, you know, he beat himself up a little bit about hitting the cones and pedaling the car and getting over there, but I think he's coming in obviously as focused as ever, as he always is, and I think they're going to perform well. Thomas is back. That's important, too. Congratulations to Thomas. I saw him a little bit ago. Congratulations to Hallie as well, his wife. And they should have a great weekend.
Paul Lee, strong event out there in Maple Grove, his home race. He's right in the middle of it all. Ron Capps was part of our YES program. All you kids that were out there at the YES program this morning, you're still hanging out. This is the guy who started us all off. 3-time world champion, Fast Jack Beckman, the Peak Blue Def Camaro of John Force Beckman behind the wheel. Final quad, funny car. .391.3, 329.26 miles per hour, and the Prock rocket goes to the top. 398.1 for Paul Lee, 278 low speed. That thing was trucking down through there, but Austin Prock puts 400s on the field.
Yep, like I said, Joe, they're going to bounce back, and they've bounced back. A 391 in this weather. Yeah, he's got 4 on the field. Cruz had a great run, but the Prock Rocket doing what the Prock Rocket does. And, yeah, Paul Lee going 390.
Come up with some good ideas here, Jordan. All right, here we go. The Queen of Speed, lane number 2, HendrickCars.com, Brittany Force rolling out. It was right here this year we saw the first 340-mile-per-hour top-fueled dragster. And it seems like now it is normal.
Wild. Yeah, it's wild, Joe. You know, I got a chance to drive Sean Reed's car, and I set a personal career best speed of 334 miles per hour, and then I got home and thought about it, and I said, Brittany Force has gone 343, and I felt slow again. So It's crazy. It's crazy the evolving nature of our sport, and the speeds we're reaching now. It's really crazy.
I remember it vividly. We were doing a Friday night session with Brian Loans and Tony Pedregon. We were all in on the deal, and the 340 comes on the board, 341 comes up on the board, and it just felt historic. Since then, she's been 343 twice, and that 341 has just been left in the dust. Lane number 1, the 4-time world champ, the guy who has the stat that I think will last forever in drag racing, the perfect countdown. 6 for 6, Steve Torrance, and he says that this pit bull can still bite.
Yeah, you know, Joe, I don't think we talk about that enough, and just how difficult, how extremely against the odds that happened. He won every single race in a countdown, and these are the hardest races to win, and he did it. It's unbelievable. I don't think we talk about it enough.
We don't talk about it enough, and I'm trying to fill the quota myself.
Well,
like everybody else needs to start talking a little bit more about it. Clay Milliken in lane number 3, and Sean Reed, lane 4. Here we go. Look at this quad. Sean Reed, Brittany Force, Steve Torrance, but it's Brittany with the quickest of the quad. 379.2, 333.58. Brittany Force, your number 1 qualifier. Steve Torrance, number 2, 379.6 at 326.32. Steve got there first. Clay Milliken, 380 with a 2 at 332.67, and Sean Reed, 381. Check out the Play NHRA Instant Replay. That's what it's supposed to look like.
4 strong runs, 4 cars go to the top. Very separated by just a little bit. Sean Reed, number 4, 381.0. And down to Courtney at the top end.
Actually,
Galvin.
Galvin, then Courtney. Jason.
All right, Joe. Yes, here with John Collins, JC. All right, go to number 1 here. Warm days. How important is it to establish a baseline?
Well, it's very important to establish a baseline. You know, you're almost as good as your last run, and we didn't do very good on our last run in Reading. So we're just trying to get down the racetrack and get ourselves set up for tonight, and hopefully make some points, but there's 4 good cars here that could take all 4 of them.
Thanks, JC. To the top end with Courtney Anderson.
Putting you on the spot, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Putting you on the spot.
I'm ready.
Well, no, Alex Laughlin. My question was going to be, are we going to see this car dip back in the 3s again? But since it's not here, I guess the answer is no.
Yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. But they had such a good run in the first qualifying session of 402. Laughlin, who has announced and shown that he is going to try to get his Pro Stock motorcycle license. He's got his leathers. What a maniac. But I'm excited about it. But no, they unloaded with a 402, and they're going to sit this one out.
For Matt Hagan, they came through the first session, went a 398.9, so there's certainly plenty to move there. 398.7 for J.R. Todd. And when we look at what Paul Lee did, as we talked about, an early shutoff 398. So which one of these 397 and 398 cars is going to make the biggest move, Tony?
Well, it's hard to get hard to bet against Matt Hagan, but you got to look in that number 4 lane right now with Paul Lee, and you look at what he did a week ago, how aggressive the car was early in the run. If they can finish a run, there's a good chance that they can put this car on the pole. But very unpredictable is the DHL machine. They tend to have been hit or miss. They did get to the final round at Brainerd, lost traction, but before they got there, they were pretty speedy.
Hagan's team stayed and tested after Maple Grove. They had that massive explosion, and there was some collateral damage. In their first test run, they were misfiring. Some of their RPM switches had broken due to the explosion. They found it, and it's showing here.
And this is going to be 3-12. Big fire from Paul Lee. Lee's car erupts in flames as he goes across the racetrack, and now he's in front of JR. Todd is avoiding him. Now he's coming back across the drag strip as he is trying to manage this, and JR Todd has managed it perfectly as well. No contact made, but my goodness, a scary move. Hagan goes 389, Lee on fire goes 393, and Todd did the same thing.
Yeah, for Paul Lee's all over the place because he's got some heat to deal with. For a funny car driver, that's very tough. You have the smoke inhalation. You can see it's still on fire. Fortunately, Paul Lee is out of the car. He's surveying what happened. And for J.R. Todd, this is a very experienced driver that saw what was happening to Paul Lee. Everybody had their parachutes out. And for J.R. Todd, it was just a matter of staying out of harm's way.
An immediate eruption, Joe.
Yeah, that thing went off like a bomb. Of course, that's exactly what they are, 12,000 horsepower and bursts of flames. For Paul Lee to maintain control, not to get into JR, that's a huge deal. Let's go down to the starting line. Jason Galvin has got Johnny Lindbergh.
Yeah, Johnny Lindbergh is looking around, and you were just watching it up there, Johnny. And, I mean, that was like a 90s style funny car fire. What did you see?
I don't know. It just blew up, of course, in the lights. And I was glad Paul's okay. He was out of the car quick. And it's just unfortunate. Let's go back to the trailer to see why it caused it. I don't know. I didn't see a whole lot or anything. It just backfired.
It gave no indication as we watched.
I know.
Yeah, here's another replay here, Johnny.
Yeah. I don't know.
Glad Paul is out of the car down there. Let's go to the top end, Courtney with Hunter Green.
Hey guys, with Hunter down here, we're actually all just watching that replay, and it's insane. But let's talk about your situation here. You just told me something incredible. Your first race in a Top Fuel dragster.
And of course, Doug Coletta has been over 340 miles an hour, part of that elite club. Brittany Force is the founder of that club, as the right trailer's on board. Shows us the back of her Monster Energy Top Fueler. And Steve Torrance's car has wicked up speed as well. So this is a potentially, if these things come to fruition. If it all goes
have superpowers.
Right.
Everyone has a different superpower.
Yes.
I think, Doug, of course, it's the performance of the car. Clay, it's the resourcefulness. Brittany Force, of course, she's got the speed.
Yeah.
And Steve Torrance, he's got a lot of championship rings, and those come with power.
The perfect countdown. We just saw the track records up on the screen there, and that happened on the same run. We were here. We talked about it. Doug on one side of the track, Brittany on the other side of the track, and it's like, where do you look? What are you looking for? Where are your eyes going on this run first? Is it the speed of Brittany? Is it the ET of Doug? And it's just like a wealth of blessings here in drag racing.
And for Clay Milliken, he's kind of wearing the Smoky Unit colors this weekend, black and gold, the champion sponsorship on the side of the car. Great to see some names rolling through the side of the Rick Ware Racing Milliken car as the HendrickCars.com colors of Brittany Force. Here comes the Champion Boys, Champion Irrigation Products and Parts Plus, along with Arby's and others for Clay Milliken. And the Capco colors that have wrought fear into the hearts of Top Fuel racers for more than a decade now, well more than a decade. Of course, Mac Tools, Toyota, RevChem Composites, and others for Doug Coletta. I like Houston kind of sitting there thinking, you know what, I'm just gonna say it, and we'll find out if that can come to fruition. And we know pound for pound, this car right here, Milliken, can also throw some big punches.
Oh, certainly. Jim Overhofer, I had a nice conversation with Nicky Bonafonte earlier this week. They're confident. They feel good about their team, where they are, and having a teammate to help gather data. But just to double back on Brian Hewson, this guy's got the best seat in the house to the Alan Johnson show. He sees things that we never get to see. He knows like the best stuff. He sees him maybe even being a little cocky at times. Watch what we do, and then he proves it on the racetrack.
Well, the crew chiefs have raised their hands to let everybody know that they are ready to allow their driver to stage the final quad of Top Fuel on Friday night here at ZMAX Dragway. 4 wide for the first time in the fall in the NHRA countdown to the championship. And a roaring run. It is a speed of 338.85 for Brittany Forrest and a lapse time of 369.8. She found the 60s and the only one to do so. Coletta just 2 thousandths behind her at 370 flat. Then it's Milliken at 373 and Torrance slid in the middle at 372.
Great run by all. Brittany Forrest, the #1 qualifier. She's been saying it. ET wins races. Speed is for show. Looks like they're finding the ET. Let's go down to the starting line with Jason Galvin.
And with David Grubnick down here, and Joe just said it, but you've talked about this. ET, that's what you care about. ET comes through there, #1 qualifier and 3 bonus points on a Friday night.
Well, yeah, we'll take that, and also winning rounds on Sunday. So we have to be consistent. We're happy with that. And then, we'll go look at the data and prepare ourselves. Tomorrow's a completely different day, so we've got to prepare for that. So thank you.
Great run, David.
Courtney Enders is actually at the top end of the racetrack. We'll be right back with some replays.
That's right. It's like herding cats up here trying to get these two to stick around here. But I want to talk about that run before we would have just seen that. You guys just had identical runs down to the 1,000th. But of course, when it's